A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Katie Taylor leaves the door open for a rematch. In an action-packed pound-for-pound matchup, Katie Taylor beats Amanda Serrano in a split-decision victory.
In the process, she left the door open for a rematch. Here are the details.
Katie Taylor beats Amanda Serrano in a pound-for-pound showdown. Katie Taylor earned a split-decision win over Amanda Serrano in the lightweight title fight in London on Friday.
While the judges felt Serrano won the bout, Taylor came very close and the fight was close enough to merit a rematch. However, both promoters are now on board for a rematch.
Here are some things to watch for when the title fight takes place in July. Taylor started off the fight with a powerful attack, landing punishing blows that made Serrano look vulnerable.
However, she never buckled and finished strong. She used movement and counterpunched well to force Serrano to reset in the fifth round.
The fight was televised on ESPN and a sellout crowd of 19,187 witnessed a pound-for-pound battle that left Serrano feeling defeated. While Serrano landed a few effective shots in the middle rounds, Taylor used her experience to adjust and landed more smart lands.
She did enough to stay close to an equal fight, but Serrano's late shots may have given her the win. If the score had been closer, Serrano's momentum would have carried over to the next round.
After a solid start, Serrano started to come out on top in the final rounds, but Taylor fought back in the fifth round. Serrano had the upper hand for much of the fight, but Taylor had to smother Serrano's punches to remain standing.
She earned a split-decision victory over Serrano as the fight took place at Madison Square Garden in New York City, which made the event a major spectacle.
The crowd was sold out, as it had been since the first fight between Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali in 1971. The two women fought in 2-minute rounds, which is a much shorter duration than the men's rounds.
The crowd consisted of a majority of Irish fans and a small proportion of Puerto Ricans. The event was the biggest women's fight to date, with a total of 9 judges and 3 rounds.
The fight was also the most publicized women's fight in history, with Jake Paul co-promoting the event. While Serrano wants to see the rules changed, Taylor didn't seem pushed to do so.
And in the end, she earned a split decision in a pound-for-pound showdown. Taylor leaves open possibility of rematch with Serrano.
After a split decision win over Serrano, Katie Taylor leaves the door open for a rematch. The fight was an instant classic, which deserves comparison to the great fights at Madison Square Garden.
Taylor was able to use her speed and movement to finish the fight strong. A sell-out crowd of 19,187 cheered on Taylor, who left Serrano with a disappointing first loss since 2012.
The fight remained close through 9 rounds, with both fighters throwing everything at each other. Taylor's corner was particularly concerned about avoiding toe-to-toe battles, as Serrano is much quicker and stronger than Taylor.
Taylor also noted that Serrano's relentless pursuit made it difficult to find range, as she knew she needed to remain disciplined to avoid an undeserved knockout. Taylor landed several punches in the fight, including a combination of right hooks and even a few shots from the clinch.
Despite being outmatched, Serrano fought fiercely. Her first judge scored the fight 96-94, and she looked badly hurt in the 5th round.
Serrano's Puerto Rican fans were just as loud. However, it seems like the judges had Taylor's back at the end of the fight.
In the end, Taylor left an opening for a rematch between the two fighters, as she showed resilience and good lands throughout the fight. While Taylor has never lost in a bout, her victory is enough to ensure she will be able to fight again against Serrano.
The fight had plenty of drama, but Taylor was able to withstand her opponent's ferociousness and clinch a split decision. The split decision win leaves the door open for a rematch, as she is now one step closer to a rematch with Serrano.
In a rematch, both fighters are able to defend their lightweight titles. Taylor was the favorite when the fight first opened, but she has since narrowed the odds.
The fight between Taylor and Serrano is a high-risk one, but it could also spark the debate over who is the greatest of all time. If you're looking for boxing news and analysis, keep reading.
Taylor lands 2 big shots in split decision win. The two women had a tough battle, but the fans of each fighter came out to support their favorite.
Taylor's fans came out in force and were loud throughout, as were the Puerto Rican supporters. While Taylor was upstaged early on, she fought hard and recovered late to take the split decision over Serrano.
The fight was so intense that the critics of women's boxing have been rendered silent. There's now a clamor for a rematch and a chance to see Serrano's full performance.
The fight started with Serrano surging in confidence and showcasing crisp technical boxing and great defense, but Serrano suddenly slowed down and stopped throwing so much, causing Taylor's ringside corner to scream. Taylor was landing with more volume and power, and Serrano was reacting to Taylor's punches and trying to turn the momentum back into her favor.
In the fourth round, Taylor lands some huge shots, including a body shot. Serrano lands a jab, but Taylor counters with a body shot and a combination.
In round 6, Taylor lands a left-handed hook, but Serrano lands several blows to the body. After a slow start, Taylor is able to land 2 big shots to Serrano's head.
After a tough round, Taylor has a great opportunity to win her first title fight. It's not too late to change that.
Earlier, Taylor seemed to be the stoppage candidate, but Serrano's jab was working well and began finding the target.
But Taylor continued to counter her right hand and landed 2 big shots in the final round. Despite the injuries, Taylor refused to concede.
Despite a heavy punch on her nose, she never quit fighting, landing several rounds later. This victory is a good thing for both fighters.
Both women are confident in their ability to land big shots. Serrano starts to pressure Taylor as she marches forward, but Taylor's counters and body shots quickly tie the fight.
Serrano tries to land uppercuts from inside, but Taylor hits a clean shot in the face. Serrano then lands a few shots before the final bell.
The split decision ended with a 3-2 score for Taylor. Taylor defends undisputed female lightweight title.
In a tense 5-round fight that spanned more than 3 minutes, Katie Taylor successfully defended her undisputed female lightweight title with a split decision win over Amanda Serrano. In the first round, Taylor's Olympic pedigree gave her the advantage, but Serrano's punch output began to drop in the second round, and the two fighters exchanged blows for nearly 3 minutes.
Serrano landed a few single-digit shots, but Taylor fought back with clean combinations and counters. The final round was a flurry of punches that left Taylor's face blanked and Serrano chasing after Taylor.
Despite Serrano's pressure, Taylor showed great composure to take a beating, resulting in a lopsided decision. The second round was more competitive than the first, but Taylor was able to take Serrano's left to the body and score a knockdown.
The decision set up a rematch in the next few months in Ireland. Boxing fans were nervous while they awaited the outcome of Taylor-Serrano.
The fight's hype was well-deserved. This was one of the best nights of boxing in the Garden in years.
Serrano's punching power hurt Taylor in the middle rounds, but Taylor held her own and was able to stay undefeated. Despite the tough battle, Taylor maintained her undisputed title with an impressive win over Serrano.
In the third round, Taylor starts to come out of the blocks and attacks with a body shot. Serrano continues to land body shots, but Taylor counters them with a body shot and combinations.
By round 8, Taylor has the upper hand, landing the big punch and pushing Serrano toward the ropes. The fight ends with a split decision.
With this win, Taylor defends her undisputed female lightweight title with a split decision win over Amanda Serrano. Katie Taylor has defended her undisputed female lightweight title for the second time.
Despite a rocky start, the champion fought out for 10 rounds. During the final rounds, Taylor stumbled several times but managed to claw back against the former world champion.